Welcome to How's Your E-Presence? The show is produced by Business RadioX, and I am Mark Galvin, the founder and president of E-Presence, a social media marketing firm. We're coming to you live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio inside the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. Welcome, and thanks for being here. We're always thrilled to join all of you on Business RadioX, and then, of course, all our regular online viewers. You can tell we are broadcasting from a studio, a little different than what we normally do. We always like having you guys here. We are live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, which means if you would like to send us a little chat, send us a question. Even though we are sitting in a studio, we can respond to questions, and I'd love for you guys to share any questions that you have. And wait till you see who our guest is today. You're going to have some questions for the things that he's doing. Make sure you catch us anywhere you want on podcast channels everywhere. We do drop every single show on our podcast channels after this, and you can also find all of our shows on Business RadioX. So what do we do here? We try to solve marketing issues. We want to answer the burning questions that businesses have, like how to lower acquisition costs. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't it be great to lower your acquisition cost to zero for each of your clients? So whenever you're coming to trying to find that question on how to grow your business on a digital platform or from marketing, you should come to our YouTube channel and search for that. How do I / fill in the blank, right? So maybe you want to develop a new brand or logo. We answer that question. So pop in there and take a look, and you'll be able to see that we are answering those questions all the time. If you would like to throw us a question, hit us on any of our universal social media handles. We have one handle everywhere, and it's ePresenceME. There's no dots, no dashes, just ePresenceME. That's true on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, you name it. Just look out for that podcast or for that handle, and you'll be able to track us down. All right. So remember, you can ask a question live. So as I introduce our guest, you're going to want to ask a few questions, especially if you're in the hospitality space. My guest today is Ken Patel. He's the CEO of EV Hotel Group. Ken, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Mark.
Hey, it's good to see you. Hey, Mike, you got his sound? All right, cool. So, Ken, one more time. How are you?
Pretty well. And yourself?
There he is. Now I can hear him. Fantastic. So everyone, Ken is the CEO of EV Hotel Group. What does that mean?
EV Hotel Group is actually the world's first ever technology hospitality management company with 2 divisions.
Unbelievable. So the first technology management company.
Correct.
So what does that mean?
Technology hospitality. So as we lack in technology and hospitality, EV Hotel Group came about where we have 2 divisions. One's for the technology side, one's for the hospitality management. And what we're doing is we're creating, and we already have, we're in a demo stage now, the first ever all-in-one software for hospitality.
Wow.
That goes all the way from self-check-in to back office operations.
So,
one login, one everything.
Unbelievable. So this is very cool. And I'm surprised that there's not a company out here doing this. This is fantastic, which means you have no competition. That's a great space to be in, right?
Awesome.
So you are coming in to provide technology solutions for all facets of a hotel?
Yes, every facet that you can think of. Whether it's the guest checking in, we have autonomous service recovery, autonomous tipster, no more leaving cash in the rooms.
Oh, wow.
Social media platform, an internal social media platform that connects the guests to every single employee of the hotel, including the general manager. Chatbots, back office operations, GMs putting 8 invoices in a scanner, and that's all they would have to do. It codes itself, organizes itself.
Wow.
Revenue management.
Okay, so
you name it.
Yeah, I want to ask a couple questions to try to, because I'm a simple guy. I can't figure this out.
Yeah.
So if I am a hotel guest and I'm checking
Correct.
at the hotel, as I go to check in, how would your systems change my experience as a guest? Right at check-in.
We'll start all the way from the beginning.
Okay.
As soon as you make your reservations, you're 24 hours away from checking into the hotel.
Oh, even before I get to the front desk. Okay.
So 24 hours prior, you'll get a message that pre-check-in is allowed.
Okay.
At that point,
and that'll show up on my phone, so I'll get a
will.
little text or something. Okay.
Yes. And then you can scan your ID, scan your credit card. You can pick your room number. Say you're
Oh, shut up.
yeah. Say you're attending breakfast. You want extra pillows. Want to do an upgrade. Anything that you can think of. It'll be about 15 to 20 questions.
So this is kind of cool. So you can upsell.
Yes.
Before I get there,
Correct.
I decide, all right, I'm going to have somebody coming with me. I didn't expect. I need a little larger room. I can go ahead and change my reservation and upgrade to a larger room and pay the upcharge fee.
Correct. Just think of an airline. When you book your flight, it says you want to be in the main cabin or you want to be in an economy cabin.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So all those things happen. I arrive at the front desk. Then what?
Then you actually will have a QR code. And the QR code, you would scan it just like any QR code.
Okay.
And that puts you into the guest portal.
Wow.
The guest portal will have everything that you can imagine. That means you can order DoorDash through the chatbots, Walmart delivery, local attractions, restaurants, open table, making reservations. I mean, anything that the guest gets at home, now they're going to get at a hotel.
And so it really will help make that experience for me, the guest, a little more seamless. I don't have to go searching for this stuff.
Exactly. You hit it.
It's at my fingertips.
Yes.
And over time, if I use these systems more often, it's going to know, hey, Mark, you like sushi. So here's a couple of sushi places that could deliver.
Yes.
Oh,
AI.
that's awesome. Oh, that's
AI.
so cool. Okay,
Yes.
good. Now, how does it help housekeeping?
So we have a solution. That's a technology solution as well. So the MPRs, the industry average is 28 to 30 minutes. We're able to now bring it down to 18 to 20 minutes with our solution.
Wow.
And it's a robotic solution. It's not as we think now when we're talking about robots in hotels.
Right.
They're not going to replace humans.
Okay.
What we're doing is we're making things efficient, time management.
Sure.
And whether a robot vacuums that carpet or a robot cleans the bathroom. I've heard people say, oh, it's not going to be as clean. Well, I mean, is it as clean right now when somebody's cleaning it? You know?
Hey, listen, I ran housekeeping at 2 different hotels in San Francisco and Atlanta. That's a tough job.
It is. And why don't we make it easier?
Yeah, and I will tell you the number of times that the bed was missed, right? The underneath, they didn't vacuum underneath the bed. It would be great to know that something is going to hit that every single time somebody checks out.
Right.
That would be cool.
And that's where we feel now there's not stretching people thin, right?
Right.
Where it's not like, oh, yeah, somebody's here at the front desk. We need the room. Now, how do we put all these things into one package? It's because we have pre-check-in. We know that room 101 needs to be ready for today.
Yeah.
We knew that yesterday.
Yeah, you already had it, and you knew because I was on my upgrade, and I said, I want that room.
Yeah, and all the other guests. So in the morning time, we know exactly which room is arriving because it's been prepaid. It's already been
done. It's locked in.
Right. It's already been locked in. It's already been done as to know that, okay, this guest is coming. We're going to actually go ahead and we're going to go get this room clean. The housekeeper now can do 2 rooms in a matter of 30 minutes.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah, and the robotic situation that we have a partnership, international, and it's GPS controlled. So it knows the housekeeper where the housekeeper is going.
Wow. So and I think that's really interesting. So a GPS system can track where somebody is in a building?
Yes. So they would know, it would be programmed to, let's say Mary is one of the housekeepers today. So it would know to follow Mary throughout the day. So Mary can go ahead and get the beds done and the room done, but it would know to make sure the bathroom and the carpets need to be done in that room.
I'll be darned. All right.
Yes.
This is a little, so there's a little freak part on this, right? If I'm a room cleaner, I don't want you to know every place I'm going, right?
Yep.
But the flip side is hey, I can tell that you're being more efficient. So I could see the value of saying, you walked in the room and the first thing you did was X. That's not the most efficient way. The first thing you should do is you should do XYZ first based on policy. We used to, in fact, I remember the days back in housekeeping, we used to, especially when we checked the room for a VIP, you start at a wall and you work your way all the way around the room and you check everything that wall touches. That way you don't miss something in the room. It was a methodology to make sure a room is VIP. Great. There are systems that you can say as a room cleaner comes to the room, the first thing you should do is this. You should take the linens out, all that. you can help them, teach them, and train them. You're not doing it the most efficient way. Do it this way, and you'll be better, and you'll get more done, and you make yourself more valuable.
Well,
That's cool.
And I would say this is Tesla sold 12,000 cars in 2012, right? They sold 500,000 in 2020. Took them 8 years to have people do the crossover, right?
Yeah.
But in hospitality, we've been operating the same exact way for 8 years.
Wow.
And 10 years.
That's
and
true.
12 years.
Yeah.
15. So the housekeeper's always been doing it the same way. The front desk has been doing it the same way. We haven't changed anything, even though technology has changed.
It has evolved.
We went from 2G, 3G, 4G, and now 5G. And we've still been operating the same exact way.
The only thing that's changed in the hotel business is the front desk is no longer one big, long desk. They're now these little cubicle desks.
Right. And, and this goes with now my 25th year in hospitality, and I've seen the issue why we have turnover.
Right.
I've seen the issues why guests are upset. We've spent over $2 million on market studies, case studies, whatever you want to call it, right?
Right.
And at this point, we've seen the national average between 14,000 hotels was a 67% in guest score.
Wow.
67%. And the number one complaint was my bathroom's not clean. It's because that's where the guests...
It doesn't change, right?
Right.
It is such an important part of it. You bet.
And, what happens there is because it's not... I never put one thing as blame to an employee.
Right.
Due to the fact is we put them in these places, right?
True.
We told the housekeeper,
100%.
You have to clean the room in 28 minutes. Now, if they're at 25 minutes already, you're going to expect them to do 3 minutes in the bathroom? Stripping those beds, cleaning a room that's maybe filthy from whatever parties.
Cleaning a room in 30 minutes. I managed housekeeping.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it.
No, nobody knows.
I know how they did it, but I don't really.
Shortcuts.
I could never do it.
Right.
And it was efficiencies. They knew what they had to pay attention to and what they could cut the corners on.
And you got to think about this, right? At the end of the day, what's the hardest job at a hotel level?
Oh, it's
housekeeping.
It's housekeeping. 100%. It's housekeeping.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's my number one thing on how EV Hotel did get formulated. The company is based on what the inside information as an employee has become through through hospitality.
Right.
And when we talk about disruption, right? Someone that's a disruptor is always from the outside. But that could not happen with hospitality. Hospitality needed somebody to be an inside.
That's a good point.
And because we have too many departments and too many problematic issues.
And it's complex.
It is. It's very complex.
Listen, I always wanted to start my own business for years and years and years. When I worked at the largest hotel in the state of Georgia, my last job, and that hotel, I can't remember how many employees they have. I think it's over 700. Mm-hmm. That is a complex operation. And as an entrepreneur, I thought, there's no way I could do this. I cannot do everything that HR does and everything that accounting does and sales. Because there is so many layers to it. It is not an easy operation. I'm going to tell you what, the hardest thing to do is to motivate a team each and every day. That is hard. That is just hard. Yeah. So my hat's off to you. I think that this is impressive. I want to push on to some other questions because we are just firing along here. This is good.
Yeah.
So there, you take all the technology. We got all this, and we're talking about why we're so behind. But why is human resources? Why don't they have more involvement with the onboarding and hospitality to lower the turnover? How do you help that?
So, I've said this now for quite a few years. I said HR and hospitality is like dinosaurs.
I think
they're not around.
True. Sure.
They're not around.
Right.
And the problem is, what we consider onboarding to be in hospitality is basically give me your IDs, fill out this application, you're onboarded.
You're done.
You're done.
You're
That's
in.
it. You go to the hotel, go meet the GM,
yep.
Work the front desk, do housekeeping, whatever that's needed. That's not how onboarding works. Absolutely not.
Right. It should be, without a doubt.
What we did was now we created a whole new onboarding tool for hospitality.
Oh, cool.
And that goes from A to Z. it's a whole new avenue of how hospitality would look at onboarding.
Would you call this a different type of orientation that's much more
Oh
thorough?
yeah.
Okay.
It's proven in the tech industry.
All right. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's proven with Microsoft. It's proven with Apple. What's the other company? C3.ai, brand new company with the Oracle executive.
Gotcha.
Facebook,
Cool. Yep.
Amazon. They all use this efficient way of onboarding an employee.
Huh.
Now,
Okay.
I always say this, right? And I talk to a lot of hoteliers, and obviously a lot of people are calling me to ask me about EV Hotel Group. And I tell them that, how much money do you spend on onboarding an employee? They say nothing. And what's your turnover percentage? Now, how do you want to take, if you
By
spend...
the way, they are spending some money on onboarding an employee. They just don't know the value of it.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? If you spend an X amount of dollars on an onboarding tool, right? Whatever that cost might be. Now, do you think you might have turned that front desk employee 3 times in 6 months? Now, that number could have came down by 1 or 2.
Right.
Right? It would have lessened it.
Yeah, it'll save money.
Yes,
if you can reduce that number without a doubt.
Right. And onboarding has been forgotten about and it goes back to, why do we have HR departments in this industry? Nobody can answer that question.
Jeez, I hate to say, I hope it's not just to fire them.
Yeah.
Right? Or to make sure the company doesn't get sued.
Well, 82% of a survey that we did, that people, and I'm talking on the top levels.
Sure.
They said the HR departments are there for compliance.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it interesting how I came up with that, right?
Yeah.
Totally, I get that.
Yeah, compliance.
Yep.
So it's not anything to do with turnover. It's not anything to do with onboarding. So they don't have no say in that.
There should be a healthy amount of employee relations involved in that.
It should. I mean, I've seen it across the board.
Sure.
I've seen where HR departments are non-existent when it comes to the hiring processes. They're up to the GM. You're talking about engagement levels.
Right.
There's no engagement level.
No.
There's
I get
absolutely
it.
zero
Totally get it.
engagement level. But
Right.
our industry suffers because of this.
Mm-hmm.
And are we to blame the HR departments? Well, it's not a blame game. It's let's fix it.
Right.
Let's fix
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And
Let's come up with a solution. And do you guys have a solution for this?
We do. We have the complete HR solution.
Oh, that's awesome.
And when we talk about that, we've hired an international staffing agency.
Yeah.
Now people are like, why would you get a staffing agency? Because they screen better.
They've got experience at
They
it.
got experience.
Sure.
Now, does that mean we're going to get a front desk employee and entry-level employees through a staffing agency? Not really. But then we get top-level people that do get the best people.
Right.
That's what you need to make sure.
That is so smart. All right, so I got a comment that's shown up on the screen, and Eric, I can't get it. My iPad is not allowing me to do this, but Marcello Arcele said hello, and he's a good friend, and I wanted to give him a shout out.
Yeah.
So Marcello, welcome. You need to learn a little bit about HR too, so glad you're here, and I need to connect you with Ken after we're through with this, but. This is really interesting. So, driving the HR process, I always thought is important. And as a manager and working in some of the hotels I worked in, a lot of managers become pseudo HR too, right?
Right.
You need to make sure that you're taking care of your own staff to keep them from knocking on the door of HR. So if I got a lot of staff members going in and knocking on HR's door, or if I got high turnover, that starts with me. Now it is HR's job, in my opinion, to go to the GM and say, you do know we've got a huge turnover issue going on in housekeeping, and it's costing you some money. And they should have that
Right.
data. You probably produce that data. Hey,
Yes.
housekeeping's turnover rate went up by 10, and it's costing you X. You
Right.
got to solve that. I mean, that would be
And
valuable info.
I'll tell you this, Mark, is with EV Hotel Group, the way we're doing things, it's driven on data. Like, we have 18 data analysts.
Data doesn't lie.
Right. Data doesn't. And what's hospitality about? It's about data.
Yeah.
We're not creating
So funny.
AI.
Hospitality's it's funny to hear you say that. I would argue that hospitality is about making people comfortable, right? It's providing an experience. The data helps you provide a better experience.
It does.
Go all the way back. You and I were talking about this in the beginning. I'm coming to the hotel. I've got my phone up. I'm reserving in it. I say, hey, you know what? I want some sushi. the technology can make that experience much more seamless for me.
And efficient.
Exactly. And then all the way through to housekeeping, and that data will help us understand that we need to respond to that. I think it's brilliant. I love that.
And that's why we have a saying as well. We leave no data on data islands. You know,
you know what? And I love that, because I think that happens to all of us in all industries.
It does.
You collect data, and it just sits there.
That's it. It just sits there by itself.
And so your system will allow that data to be harnessed.
Oh yeah, integrated everywhere. So the PMS integration, we have digitalized. Let's just put it this way: everything is under digitalization. That means that we're talking to PMS systems. We're talking to this. We're talking to that.
PMS systems, for those of you not in the hospitality world, you know it's not what you think it is. It's property management systems. Sorry about that. I had to jump in there.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
No
and
worries.
there's also another story I had from somebody not in the hospitality business, and they said the F&B. I was saying F&B all the time, and the person said, "What did the B do that was so wrong?"
Yeah, I know.
Oh, the F&B. Yeah. Anyway, so food and beverage. Anyway,
yep.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's an innovation, right?
Yeah.
It's going to revolutionize our industry. That's the biggest industry in the world. It's an international industry.
You know what? And that's a very interesting point. For those of you who are not in the hospitality space, what you've just said, Ken, is an important thing for us to note, for everyone to know. It is the largest industry in the world, right?
It is.
Making widgets does not employ as many people as the hospitality space does. I mentioned a hotel, 700 employees. Think about that, 700 employees. Name another business in downtown Atlanta, we're based in Atlanta, that has 700 employees in and out of the building each day. You don't, right?
You don't.
And then and when you get down to hotels that are 200 or even 100 rooms, those hotels are still going to employ a bunch of people, and that it's a monster industry.
It is. It's and you have to look at which industry operates on different markets. When you look at it, we could look at an ADR, and for people out there, ADR's average daily rate. We could look at occupancy. You could have the same hotel as, let's say, a Marriott in New York and a Marriott in Miami. Yep. Are they the same rate? No, they're not.
No, yeah.
They're not. And these things are changing as well. I mean, what we're doing is you'll take any single item that you've seen in hospitality, and we've turned it around.
That is so cool.
We have turned it completely around.
All right. So I'm looking at time. We got about 7 minutes left. Last thing I want to ask you is, why is AI not in hospitality? If 80% utilize AI has less than operating costs, why aren't we using it more?
Because we're scared.
Well,
people are still old. You know, people are still. I said this before, that describe one thing about hospitality. I said old. It's old, archaic systems.
You know something? It is like turning a freighter. Yeah. Right.
This is not against anybody if they're old, but you know.
Hey, we're all going to be old.
Yeah.
If we're not already,
I just turned 40, so I feel old.
But the hospitality space, I used to say, is one of the last conservative bastions there was in the industry. They wore ties in the hospitality business long after everybody had lost their ties.
Right.
So it does take a long time to change. And I will tell you, I think part of that is their audience, their target audience, all the people in the world they have to appeal to more people, a wider variety, and so they're always going to be a little more cautious.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, you tell me an AI system is going to be involved in my hotel stay, that may freak me out.
Yeah.
You don't want me freaked out. You want me to stay at the hotel.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's the way that we've designed it, where it's not like a Facebook where it's collecting.
Yeah, right.
Like, we're not even going to collect, like, we're not going to save credit cards. We're not going to save IDs. None of that.
Right.
You're going to have to put it in again.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, you really can't save credit card data anymore anyway. You don't get the number.
Right. And we don't want data to be flying everywhere.
Right.
So obviously we don't want data islands, but we don't want data in that space up there.
Sure.
So our intention is to make sure we're working with the Amazon Web Services. So we're working with the largest provider when it comes to the servers.
Yep.
And what we're doing is just revolutionary to this industry itself.
It's so awesome. And, the space, the industry needs it. And,
It does.
And we
It
are,
does.
it needs to be more digital. And there's a lot of folks there may be some larger brands that have a whole division that are focused on this. To have someone who is not, exclusively focused on the goals of that brand and making it available for all hoteliers, that's a great thing.
Yeah, and I've seen, I'm not going to sit here and say like we're the first ones to create self check-in.
Right.
We're the first ones to create everything in one.
See, that's
But
impressive. Yeah.
Self check-in, I've seen it where independents and boutiques have it.
Right.
And I was like, why isn't it for everybody?
Right.
We're not saying this is only for a Marriott or Ritz or Four Seasons. No, this is for Days Inn, Motel 6, Ritz, Four Seasons, Marriott, Hilton, AG.
Well, why not? Right?
The whole bang.
Yeah.
And that's where we're doing this for.
So there is something that's I think pretty valuable here, and that is if you get into more hotels, the users get used to your product, and it becomes easier through familiarity.
Yes.
And so that's a good thing for you to be in more places so that every time I go someplace, I'm used to that experience. I think that the next round of technology changes that we see as human beings, just broad stroke here, if I may, is the simplicity of technology. Because right now it's pretty complicated.
It is.
Apps and so on. I just got an invitation to Clubhouse, right? That new online
I heard
talk,
about it.
right? So I think that's going to be a new, very big deal for social. So we're, all of these complicated different inputs, and we have to go out and learn those.
Yeah.
I think the simplicity of things are going to be there. And if you're offering that type of, all right, it's one product that helps bring everything together, that makes life more simple, and that's
what
I
we
think
wanted.
very attractive.
Yeah, that's what we wanted. We wanted simplicity,
I think it's awesome.
We wanted to make sure that for the guests, it's very easy. For the employee, it's very easy. For the GM, it's easy. For the owner, it's easy.
Sweet.
So all of it combined in one.
I think this is fantastic. All right, Ken, where can people find you?
evhotelgroup.com is obviously our website. You can find me on LinkedIn, Ken Patel. We're also on Facebook. You can email us at evinfo@evhotelgroup.com.
Awesome.
And I mean, just to let people out there, if they are still looking for a position, we have a business development specialist position in the top 50 markets in this country.
Oh, sweet.
So we have about 54 positions open right now.
Awesome.
So,
right. Well,
we want you on board.
We are ready to hire you, right?
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
We are ready.
Well, folks, I'm going to tell you what. Ken's been on the show before. Great guy. You can tell he's very passionate about his mission, and I love your mission, and I love that you're passionate about it.
Thank you.
I love the entrepreneurial spirit, right? As two entrepreneurs sitting here, I think that it's really cool that you are providing a solution that the hospitality business needs right now.
Must have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Well, Ken, thanks for being with us. I'm going to tell you what, we're going to stay in touch. Who knows? We may have Ken back on the show another time as he creates.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, as you create all the great things that you do. For the rest of you folks, I want to quickly remind you some things that we're doing at ePresence. We continue to offer webinars twice a month. If you would like to get your LinkedIn profile cleaned up, go to epresence.me and you can find the webinars in there. And actually, we have a discount link, and it's right there on the screen, epresence.me/discount. You can jump in there, and we will sit down with you and help you have a great LinkedIn profile in an hour, and you'll see a 400% increase on your profile views. And if you don't think it's valuable, I'm going to refund the money to you, and I'm going to pay you $20. Yes, I'll pay you for your time. I know it's that valuable. So, folks, what do we do at ePresence? At ePresence, we manage social media for individuals, companies, college students, you name it. If you need help with social media, you're trying to figure out how to manage your ad spend on Facebook, come see us. We have experts that can help you on all those areas. Go to epresence.me/how's your ePresence, and we will offer you, by watching this show, a 5% discount. So join us there. Folks, we're at Business RadioX. As you see, we do this once a month on the third Thursday at 3 Eastern. You can listen to any of our shows 24/7 at going to businessradiox.com and selecting the Gwinnett Studio. You've got to check out these folks here at Gwinnett Business Radio X. They are rocking. So check them out. Also, you can find our shows at any podcast channel looking for How's Your E-Presence, and on YouTube and on Facebook and on LinkedIn. Our website's epresence.me. That's epresence.me, because it's all about you. This show is promoted by Amanda Perch and produced by Mike Salmon. The video production assistant is our very own Eric Welch. Until next time, for my guest, Ken Patel, I'm Mark Galvin, and this has been How's Your E-Presence on Business Radio X.